Hello there again, YouTube. Welcome to part 3 of my third corps overview. I've actually just struggled to bring my last infantry division in because this morning I woke up and my left leg will not lock straight, so rendering me unable to walk without a crutch and my normal stick. So I've had real trouble trying to bring these guys in today, and the annoying thing is that I really don't know how long this is going to last. I mean, I haven't actually had it happen for around about sort of 2 years, and it can last anywhere from 3 days to a month, and I'm kind of hoping that it'll be days rather than a month, because I don't think I can put up with a whole month of having to not being able to carry anything, which is really annoying when you've only got one hand normally, and then you lose that hand, and I'm on my own, so I'm kind of stuck having to sort of push a tray in by sliding it along the floor and stuff. Very annoying. But anyway, back to Third Corps, and here we have the General Division for these boys. This is the 8th Infantry Division. And I shall tell you who he is, and we'll go through the division backwards again. So we'll start off with the General Division, and this guy is General Division Antion Nicolas Lefort, and that's a Baron Etienne Nicolas Lefort. And we'll just double check that. Yes. So General Division Baron Etienne Nicolas Lefort, 8th Infantry Division, 1st and 2nd Brigades, 3rd Corps. Obviously, there would be, again, multiple battalions per regiment. I haven't actually got my phone on me, otherwise I could tell you exactly. But we'll start off with this chap. Again, this is the 3rd of the Perry's Mounted Colonels, and this guy has definitely got the snazziest horse. I was very happy with how this horse came out, actually. I wouldn't for the sort of like a, they sort of say that to have a pure white horse is quite rare, and they're actually more sort of extremely light grey, and that's kind of what we have here. It's a very close to white grey, probably about maybe a few shades off of being white. Very happy with how it turned out. Very nice horse, nice posed horse, and pretty basic looking colonel on top, but he's got his Legion d'Honneur there, so I think that warrants him the position. So that is the General Division. Put him to the side, and let me just a little intermission here. Let me just show you the way I actually brought this battalion in. I actually put them on this coffee table here, and I actually slid them. I mean, if you look down my hallway there, that door there is where my painting room is, and this is the living room, and I basically had to slide this table all the way into my painting room, transfer the battalions onto this table, and then slide them back, which is very annoying. And like I say, hopefully this leg business won't go on for too much longer, even though I actually only woke up with it this morning and I'm already sick of it. Okay, we should go into the next part, which is the artillery. Now, these guys, artillery unit, as you can probably notice that here we have 2 howitzers. Now, on retrospect, I wish that I had made 1 6-pounder and 1 howitzer, but unfortunately, noob mistakes and all, this battery is purely howitzers, but obviously you can proxy it for something. And these are the 7/6 foot artillery, and they're led by Captain Chauveau. And these boys are Victrix, and they are, I believe, they were the last 2 guns out of the pack of 3. Great kits, the Victrix guns. It's a shame the crew figures are a little bit under par in my opinion, but the guns are great. And it was my first time doing howitzers. I think they came out pretty cool. So that is the first battery. And here's the second. Theoretically, I was thinking of just sort of splitting the guns up and having one howitzer and one cannon, but of course they've got slightly different basing setup, so it'd look a bit odd with one green and one brown, but maybe if it comes down to it, perhaps I'll just do that anyway, because at the end of the day it doesn't really matter how they're based really. As long as I have an officer in each battery, I'd be quite happy. So maybe I will just swap them around. In fact, actually, they're actually other batteries set up here. So perhaps if I were to swap this one out with this one, because that one's got the officer, and made this one match up with the other gun, because that's got the officer on, that'll do for their batteries. Okay, so back to the infantry, and the first, this is a 4 battalion brigade again. We're going to start with, I'll start with these boys. So these are the 64th line. Bring them in. Now, upon first look, a lot of these look like they could be Perry's, probably from my second box, although there could be some leftovers from my first, and also a slightly heavier mix of Victrix. So we'll start off with these guys, and the commanding officer for this particular unit, the 64th, is Colonel Raymond Martin Doubion, or Doubion, and we'll just give you a quick flick through. So here we have the Grenadier stand, and these guys are all Victrix by the looks of it, including my converted sapper. This was my very first attempt at creating a sapper, and you see I've given him a full-length apron. And we've also got some, we've got one guy reloading down there. These guys are in a little bit more of a sort of a marching attack pose compared to a lot of my other units. But yeah, quite a nice turning out stand there. You can also tell that I've transitioned to using my Foundry blue at this point as well, which became my standard norm for doing French uniforms after I got hold of it. So here we actually have some odd warlord guys mixed in with these boys. So the 4th company is made up of warlord chaps. Completely nothing wrong with that. And like I say, I quite like the warlord French, the plastic French. So here we have some voltigeurs, and again some action poses for these boys. These guys have got a couple of Perry's voltigeurs, and I believe there's possibly one which is a Victrix, 1 or 2 Victrix bodies in here, or at least some Victrix arms, because I believe this guy's got the Victrix shooting arm, and this guy, but then again, I don't know, they kind of look, maybe they are all Perry's, these particular ones. But yeah, they're basically like the skirmishing voltigeurs. I decided to use them because you know, there's a few more action poses in this particular battalion. So drummer stand. So here we have again, which looks like 3 warlord guys and a plastic Perry's drummer. which is obviously leftover spare. I think the Perry figures that are on this base are basically leftovers that have been like replaced by metal figures in other battalions. So I've, like for instance, having this spare drummer here. If I wouldn't use him as a first choice. I would swap him out with a metal one if I had one. But again, like I say, I actually quite like this drummer. So there's, you know, if I get a chance to use him, then obviously I did. But yeah, that's the drummer stand. The NCO stand. Again, not really a marked officer, but a standout figure for the sergeant, with that rather cool holding his Shako arm pose. I've actually given him some sergeant stripes. And of course that rather cool head with a beefy moustache and the connected sideburns. So that is the NCO stand. And then finally the command base, which is made up out of, I think we have two metals. Actually no, one metal. So that's one metal Perry's Eagle Bearer. You can see that he has, moved a road there. He has actually got the front rank flagpole at this stage. And I believe all the rest of them are actually Victrix plastics. And like I say, it's very rare for me to use plastic officers unless I really like them. And for me, and I've got to admit, I did really like the officers that came in the Victrix box set. So I've actually got two of them right on here. So we have the Colonel with a pistol, and we have the Eagle Bearer with his with a pistol as well, and he's actually got the pistol taken out of his holster there. I've actually cut it out. And finally we have the officer in the background there, who again is a Victrix plastic officer. So thumbs up for Victrix to get all their plastic command used, apart from this one metal Perry's flag bearer. And of course the cool thing about the Victrix set again is that you can actually convert a flagpole into a eagle protector, which is really cool. So that is, I'll keep hitting this piece of road, that is the 64th. So we shall move these guys out of the way temporarily, and we'll bring in the next unit. So these chaps, let me just check for battle honours. Yes, these guys have some battle honours. So we have Ulm, Austerlitz, Isling and Wagram. So these guys are like real veterans. Very cool. Okay, on to the next. Now this particular unit, I believe, is practically all Victrix, and is one of the probably the only battalion in my army to actually have practically all like actiony posed figures. So I'll just move the commander, and these guys are the 37th. These will be. And let me just double check that. Yes, these are the 37th, and they're commanded by a Colonel Ferjou Fortier. And like I say, these guys are mostly made up out of Victrix, so we've got lots of action going on. We've got the Grenadiers stand, including another Maid Sapper, and these guys are in full action. So we've got three guys in various stages of preparing to fire, and one guy who's obviously a lot faster than the other three, or maybe missed out firing the last volley because of some sort of problem. He's ready to go, and the others are in the middle of reloading. So perhaps he had like a misfire or something and missed out, and then found out that he'd forgotten to pour some powder on the pan or something. But who knows? That's the probably not if they're grenadiers, because obviously the grenadiers are meant to be elite, aren't they? So maybe he just loaded a lot faster than the other two. So next up we have the 4th Company, and these guys again are in a lot more action poses. We've got a Perry's guy snuck in there. Again, probably an odd one. And we've got a couple of guys in, again, various poses of reloading. And this chap here reaching back to grab a new cartridge from his pouch. So that is the 4th Company. Again, like I say, I haven't seen these guys for a long time, so it's quite nice to actually see them again, because they are really nice figures, these the Victrix. So here we have the Voltigeurs. These guys are awesome. I really do like the way that this base turned out. I think I did a little bit of conversion work on this guy. Just maybe sort of changing, cutting something out of a hand or and sticking another hand in or something to make it look like he was gesturing and pointing out something. And then we've got the others again at various stages of getting ready to fire. And like I say, they've got really great faces, the Victrix guys. Such a lot of character. I think it's the sort of the way that they've got very sort of deep cut lines. So when you like put a highlight on, it really sort of highlights, you know, on the cheeks and the nose. It really kind of sticks out. And they've got their moustaches and stuff are really kind of cut deep into the face, so they kind of look more three-dimensional. Great faces. So that's the Voltigeurs. Next up we have the drummer's base. So again, a blue and gold theme going on these guys, and this chap they've got a couple of lighter helmet covers in this particular unit or company. And we have, of course, a metal drummer. I believe this guy could be a front rank. And then we've got 3 other Victrix guys. And some quite nice poses. I spent a lot of time actually working out exactly what poses I wanted to put the guys in. Which I suppose could be classed as a little bit of a minus point to Victrix, because obviously you've got to be careful when you base them, because if you want your battalions to sit flush with each other, you've got to make sure, like for instance here, if you look here, this guy's bayonet is sticking out the front of the base, but I've positioned it so that it clears the base and goes in between the other base, so they all sit flush. Then we have the NCO. Nothing super special for this guy, but he has actually been given a sword, an NCO sword, and 3 other Victrix guys. He has actually got his stripes. Very cool. And then finally, the command stand, which is made up of 2 Victrix and 2 front rank. So we have the Colonel is a front rank. I've been forgetting to tell, I did mention who's in command of this unit, didn't I? Yeah, Forbier. So there we have the flag, and these guys got battle honours. Yes, they have. They've got, let me just have a look. We've got, I can't quite make that out. Pick up, don't know if you can. It looks like ECKMUHL, so maybe that's Ekful, Essing and Wagram. And we have 2 Victrix guys on the back here. We have the Eagle Protector, and we have another Victrix officer, which again is testament to how good their plastic officers are, because basically if I don't like them I wouldn't use them. So yeah, quite a nice command stand, and nice to revisit them. And I particularly like this jacket hanging off the shoulder there. That was one of the cool things that I really did like in the Victrix set. So that is the 37th. So that's the second brigade. But of course it's abridged, so they make one brigade. But obviously, historically, that would be the 2nd brigade. And now the final 2 units, and we are really going back old school with these boys. I believe these are some of my earlier units, and I believe this one could be like one of my earliest, maybe the 2nd or 3rd unit of French that I did. They are a box of Warlord light infantry, the old school box, so it had like 36 miniatures in it. And I remember being really chuffed when I picked it up, because I think it cost me like £20. And you got 36 figures, and I really did get my use out of those guys. You couldn't actually find them in many battalions across my army. You know, like literally as late back as my very last battalion. In fact, I actually used I found a couple of French in my little spares box, and I used them, and you know, so you could basically plot my starter army from, you know, because I got these guys just almost straight after my I'd received my starter box set, and you know, to think that they were completely fully used up, stretching from some of my earliest units going right the way up to my very last. It's quite a sort of cool thought. So these chaps are the 15th Light, and I really do like these guys. I do think that out of all the Warlord commands, both French and British and Hanoverian, I do think that the light command group that you get with these boys are definitely one of Warlord's best. And I really do like the sapper figure that you get in that particular box as well. So we're going to go over these guys. The 15th Light, and we'll tell you who commands them. 15th Light Regiment, and they're commanded by Colonel Jean-Charles Brice. And we'll go over them again quite quickly. So these guys are obviously going to be all Warlord. And these guys have got the Grenadier transfers on their pouches, and because they're light, they've all got these white covers on. It kind of tricked me for a few seconds when I was taking them off the shelf and putting them onto the table. I thought, wait a second, 4th Company have got horns on their pouches. Perhaps I accidentally mistook them as the Light Company, you know, as the Voltigeurs. And then of course I looked at the Voltigeurs and they had them, and I thought, oh no, what's going on? And then of course I realised that they're actually a light battalion, and that's why they've all got it. So that kind of tricked me out for a few seconds. But again, like I say, most of these guys are all Warlord figures. So this is the Sergeant figure, which again I kind of used as a Voltigeur. Nice position, better than the regular one that comes with the sticking out to the side musket and bayonet. This guy is really quite a cool figure, and kind of stands out on the Voltigeur base. Then we have the drummer, or the bugler in this case, because they're light. And of course my favourite, one of my favourite sapper figures, who's got like a sort of a blunderbuss or sort of a shotgun, which is quite cool and quite unique. And then we have a couple of normal Warlord guys, and the bugler, who's not too bad a figure himself, actually. Like I say, I really do like the light command, the light command group from Warlord. I think they're definitely one of their best metal command groups that they do. So here we have the sergeant's base. No denoted sergeant, but again I could theoretically paint a couple of stripes on his arm, and that'll denote him as a sergeant. And finally the command group, and again it's an old school style command group. So we've got the Fusilier on there, but we have the colonel here, looking very cool with his cape. We have the eagle holder, or the eagle bearer, with his pistol, and then we have the first lieutenant with his wounded arm. So very, very cool looking. And of course the flag, the 15th, and we'll have a look. They've got some battle honours: Austerlitz, Eckmühl again. Oh, that's actually a little bit more. It's the same as the battalion before. Eckmühl and Wagram. So yeah, cool. Another quite veteran unit there, and I believe these guys could possibly have two battalions in reality. And now going on to the final battalion. Of my third core project. So here we go. Bringing them up. Another one of those split bases, but at least it's on the voltigeurs, so you know, theoretically you could use them for skirmishing. And there we go. Now these chaps are the 23rd line, and they're commanded by a Colonel Baron Jean Honore Vernier. And we'll just have a little schmooze at these guys. So for the Grenadiers, you can see there's that annoying sergeant figure I was telling you about. The way that his kind of bayonet, his musket sticks out. In fact, it's actually a little bit bent. That's why I tended to use him as on this side of the stand, so that it wouldn't interfere with any of the units that are standing parallel to him. So that is the Grenadiers. Then we've got the Fusiliers, the 4th Company. Got some nice different coloured long jackets in that particular group. And then we have the voltigeurs, which are split onto 2 bases. I'm starting to get a low battery signal here, so I'm going to kind of a little bit rush through these guys, because we have got General Van Damme himself to have a look at just before this video finishes. Here we have the old school style sapper in the front, and that same old jacketed drummer, and a couple of more warlord guys in the background. The NCO base, again with a non-denoted NCO, but again I could just paint a couple of stripes on him and make that more visually apparent. And then finally the command base. Again, this is a slightly older school command base. I believe this guy here could be a warlord figure, and this guy here is a Perry's officer from Perry's officer pack. And then we have a eagle bearer and the actual eagle standard holder, and we have the 23rd, and they have got a single battle honour, which is Wagram. So that is the last battalion of infantry, and these guys have got a little bit of a loose flag going on here, but it's not, I don't think it's too much bother. So that is those guys, and now finally to finish off, I'll try and beat the battery going. We have the general of this entire corps, and obviously there's no figure for General Van Damme, but I think this guy is quite a good choice. Now, we have he's got a very long title, so it's General de Division, or no, Comte de Unsberg, General de Division, Joseph René Van Damme. So let's bring him in and have a look. So here we have a again, I tend to use the circular bases for my high-ranking guys. It doesn't take up too much room on the table. We've got a Fusilier marching along. Along comes the general, looking very pomp and high echelon in comparison as he's kind of marching by, but it looks like he might be acknowledging the guy down there as he's going past. Got his Legion d'Honneur on his tunic, giving him a sort of Palomino style horse. And I think that's quite a nice figure for him. I've been sort of looking at on the internet to see what figures people have used for him, and you know, there are some good choices out there. Obviously, a lot of them spring from Perry's packs of various sorts. But I'm happy with this guy for now. He will stay as Van Damme for now. There is a particular figure that I've kind of got my eye on, but upon second thoughts, I do actually quite like this guy, so maybe I'll just keep him. So that is Van Damme, and that is the completion of my third corps. And what I'll do in a couple of days' time, maybe giving a bit of time to see if my leg turns around, is I'll do a extra little video of showing all these guys set up marching across my table as a sort of a final hurrah to the project. So thank you for everyone for watching these videos. I hope you've enjoyed them. Obviously, longer videos, I can understand people don't generally have the time to watch, but obviously in these trying times, it's a lot easier to sit down for half an hour and watch a video than any other time during when life returns to normal. So like I say, hope you enjoyed them. I've enjoyed making them because it's, like I say, they're all kind of sat on a shelf. There's a sort of a preliminary shot of all of them together. Obviously, the 8th Division is not set up themselves, but they do make for quite a sight. I mean, obviously it's not 23 battalions if I were to do all the extra battalions, but like I say, 13 battalions is a lot of guys, and they've taken me probably the best part of maybe 2.5 years alongside my British to do, and I've got to say, I definitely have a special place in my heart for these boys. So that's it for now. I hope everyone's okay. Staying inside. Don't be a fool and go out. Stay inside. There's me like panicking to even go outside and touch my bins, and loads of trash has blown into my drive, and again I'm like terrified to even touch it. I've kind of on the more vulnerable side, so I really do not want to try and catch this stuff. Everyone, obviously I don't want anyone else to catch it too, even though actually my sister has had it. Luckily she had it mild, very, very mild, and she's now recovered. So that was lucky, but quite scary at the time. I hope everyone stays safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.